All right, LDBC. This is your boy, Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. Okay, guys, I got a message from a coach. Got an email. And shout out to that coach, man. Got an email, and, he said, hey, I'm working with a new athlete. And, this athlete, she's having a hard time accepting criticism. When I criticize her, she gets upset. And, all of the above. And I'm going to respond to that. And I'm going to tell you what I do as a coach. Some of y'all might not like it. Okay, I'm very, very old school when it comes to athletes. Okay, I don't waver with athletes, okay? I don't waver with them. I don't let them inject their own ideology to what I believe, because the reason why they losing is because of the way they think. So I definitely don't let an athlete come. And I'm going to be honest with you, okay? If they can't handle criticism, then they can't handle the truth. Now, when you criticize a person, when you criticize them, it has to be perfect criticism. It can't just be criticism and that's all you do, okay? I will spend 70% of my day, I'll criticize them. But the other 30%, I will find something that they do just so we don't completely destroy what they're trying to get done, what they're trying to accomplish. What they're trying to get accomplished. See, with me, the first 4 or 5 months that a person trained with me is hell. Because not only, you ain't doing nothing right, okay, but, you got somebody on your behind. You tell somebody telling you that, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. No, that's wrong. It's still wrong. You still ain't got it right. What are you doing? See, that's hard, but it's necessary. You have to criticize. Athletes, see, we're in this generation. I'm very old school. We're in a generation where, you got to pat these jokers on the back. I don't do that. I tell them straight up, look, if you can't be criticized, don't come to me, because you're going to feel bad. The first 45 months, you're going to go home in tears. You're going to go home, you're going to be cussing under your breath. If you can't handle that, then stop. I tell them all that. And see, I established that right up off the jump. I put that out there, look, okay? And I give an athlete one time to talk back to me if I'm criticizing them to help them. I give them one time. And I'll pull them to the side. And I only do stuff one time. I don't repeat myself. I don't repeat myself to athletes. If they didn't get it the time that I taught it, and if they still can't remember it, now, one thing if they got it, but they trying to do it and they mess up, yeah, okay, that I'll reteach. But if it's something that I've already taught them and I've explained to them and we've done it and they've shown mastery of the activity, and then when they come back and they can't remember it, oh, no. See, now, all hell have fury. All hell have fury now. Oh, they got to pay. They got to pay, and I get on them. I criticize them. You're supposed to remember this. You're an athlete. This is your craft. Why you can't remember what I'm showing you? And they got one time to talk back. They got one. I pull them to the side, and I'm like, look here. I told this one kid, I told him on Monday. I said, look here. I got expectations. Okay? The last program you was under, they didn't have any of you, and that's why you sitting here now. And I said, you're a loser. He looked at me funny. I said, yep, you got a losing mentality. Okay, you giving me loser excuses. And I know that's hard to hear for somebody, a coach, to come up and say you're a loser. And I see by this politically correct generation, oh man, you shouldn't have said that. Shut up. Because see, it's my reputation out there if the person don't succeed. Because you know what happened? When people and athletes don't do well under your tutelage, we see it in the fight game. They run off, they tell people that you suck. Or they tell people that it's your fault that they didn't get better. See, nah, I don't play that. See, we don't have these conversations. If an athlete leaves me, it's going to be because they're working too hard. And see, for the first 4 to 5 months, I put them through, it's a torture. Because see, I don't want them talking back. I want them to absorb in what I know. Now, if the athlete been with me for over a year, yeah, they can respond and say, Coach, I think this is wrong. And then, I listen because I know that they understand what it is I'm looking for and they can have an interjection. But if it's a newbie and they can't stand being criticized, I tell them straight up, look here, if you can't take me criticizing, because I tell them the other coaches down the street that you was with at the high end, oh, you ain't say nothing when they was criticizing you. But you want to come here and you want to have an attitude with me? Nah, we don't do that. I said, look, take your stuff and go. He was looking at me. I said, man, get your stuff and get out of here. I don't want to train you. I said, your attitude sucks. Your mentality sucks. I don't want to train you. He kind of looked at me, Coach, you really don't want to train me? I said, bro, I don't want to train you. Get out. Get out. That's what I told him. And so he was leaving out the door. And some of it too, man, you got to call a bluff. Sometimes, man, you can't worry about what they paying you, man. You got to kick them up out of there. So he started leaving out the door. And 2 minutes later, he walked back in and, Coach, I'm ready to learn, Coach. I'm sorry. And I said, boy, if you leave again, and see, I always give him a second chance. Boy, if you leave again, it's a wrap. Don't come back. And he came back, worked hard, Okay, and we have understanding. See, I don't play these games with these folks, man. And you as a coach, you got to believe, I don't even care if you've been coaching for a day. You got to believe that what you teaching is the best on the earth, and nobody, and the coach means nobody, can sit there and try to question what you do. They're not going to question your methods if your methods work. My methods work. I know they've been working. They've been working for over 20 years. Okay, they've been working for over 20 years. I know they work. I've got hundreds of documented cases where, you got the gang member, whoever, and it works for non-gang members. I got documented cases of where these people, they come in, they start out, rough around the edges, or, they have no athletic ability at all. And at the end of the training time that they with me, they end up getting a scholarship, or they end up going off into, going into a whole nother camp and doing gyms and, going pro. I've had a couple athletes, a couple of pro kickboxers, some pro track and field athletes that's gonna come out of my gym. Okay, the ones that, they went off to college, and then, when they left college, they went pro. But they took that same mentality that I brought. It's no nonsense. It's no nonsense. I'm in your face. I'm in your face. And I'm there. But it's called tough love. I don't waver because you know what? The world, you got to have an understanding as a coach. And not just be a coach, you got to be a mentor. The world is a rough place, okay? You don't know who you can trust. You don't know. The world is a rough place. And let me tell you something. The world don't care if you can't, pay your bills on time, your mortgage. The world don't care if you can't pay your car payment on time because you had a bad day. The world don't care about you. See, people only care about what they are and what they can get out of you. That's all people care about. So you as a coach, you got to put that in them. And you got to build a relationship, not just as a coach that you taking their money. You got to be much more than that, because you got to get the best out of them. And if you don't get the best out of them, if you don't bond, if they don't get an understanding that you mean business, then you're not the coach they're looking for. And you're going to be unsuccessful. They're going to leave your camp and they're going to talk junk about you. I done had people leave, but you know what they say? Man, we do too much work. See, I'd rather somebody, leave my camp. I'd rather them leave my camp and say he's a jerk and we do too much work. I'd rather them do that than to leave my camp and say, oh, he's a nice guy, but, it just didn't work out for me. Nah, I've had people leave my camp that they were good. They were really good, but they didn't want to take it to the next level. They didn't want to take it to the next level. And I told them, I told one girl, a year ago, I said, look, I realize you're doing like 50% better than what you did a year ago. But you're not putting your heart into what you're doing. And because you're not putting your heart into what you're doing, I said, you're underperforming. And they looked at me, I'm like, underperforming? You're underperforming. Because I think not only could you be the best in the country, you could be the best in the world right now. And as a track and field athlete. And they're sitting here looking at me, but we've done this and we've come a long way. And listen, I don't want to hear that. I said, I don't have your best. I need your best. I need 1,000% out of you. And if you can't give me that, then I'm talking to the wrong athlete. See, you're going to find out of every 10 athletes, there's going to be one. There'll be one that'll stand in there and they will do what you want. They can take the criticism. They can handle it. They can take it on the chin. They might cry a little bit, but guess what? They will come and they will actually be the star that you need them to be. They will step their game up and they'll step it up to a whole nother level. And you'll know why they're so good. You see, athletes, they fail for a reason. And see, you as a coach, before you train them, you really need to get in and start asking them questions. Athletes fail for a reason, y'all. They're failing for a reason. And most of the time why athletes are not successful, okay, is because they come from a losing type of ideology. They come from a mentality where the expectations on them weren't high. I'm a difficult coach. I'm a very difficult coach. I'm extremely difficult because I want things, okay? I want them to be above and beyond. Even if they're winning, I don't care if they win. I want them to win on a high level. I don't want these people winning at levels that, okay, it's mediocre, when I know they can do 1,000 times better. But you got to shut that down, bro. You got to shut all that down. And you tell them right now who the head honcho is. It ain't them. Your athletes don't run nothing, man. They don't run a single solitary iota. They don't run nothing. Your athletes, the only thing they can run back and go line up and go do them extra running sprints. That's what they can do. That's the only thing they run. Your athletes don't run nothing. And they never will, unless you allow them to. So if that person don't want to take criticism, I'd be like, shut up. I don't want to hear that. What? What you mean? I am doing it right. No, you're not. If you were doing it right, I wouldn't say nothing. And then I always tell them, have you had an out-of-body experience? Have you had an out-of-body? They be like, what's that? When your soul leave your body, you can see your body and you can see everything you're doing. Have you had that yet? No, then shut up. I got this. I'm brutal, man. I don't waver with these folks, man. And people might say, well, coach, you turn people off, and I don't care. When I coach, I don't care. I don't care about tears. Tears don't move me. I don't care who crying. I don't care, even if it's my own mama crying. It don't move me. I've never been a person moved by a person's tears. I just never have. My own mother taught me that crap. That's why, I don't get teary-eyed, man. I just don't. I never do. I just don't have that compassion. I don't have it in me, and I guess that's why. Maybe because, of how I was brought up and how, things I've experienced, and I always tell people, man, I coached a girl. I never forget. She had one leg, okay? She had one leg. And this girl worked hard every day. I criticized her too. I criticized her. I said, nope, you can do better than that. And not once did that kid give me the excuse, well, I only got one leg. No, she said, coach, I can do it. I said, okay, I need your best. Now, how about, and early on, this is early in my career as a coach, this was the only amputee, okay? The only amputee to get a medal at a state track meet. An amputee. The only in our state, okay, to get a medal in history, okay? Since this state been doing track and field, she's the only amputee. But that's because there's levels to expectation. There's levels to that. You can have a level of expectation. You can have a level, but is the level good enough? Okay, is your level of expectation going to get them to the next level? See, some coaches, they expect things. Some coaches, they expect more than that. I expect more. And if you give me 100%, then I need 200, 3,000. I need 1,000%. I got to have it. I got to have it. I can't sit here and nah, man. I'm not wavering because, see, the world accepts you to be mediocre. The world accepts you to be that. They accept you to be mediocre. I don't accept that. I don't care if you winning, not when you can do a whole lot more, okay? Not when you can do so much more, not when you can do it on another level, and you can do it in excellence. Everything that person do, they need to be in excellence. Everything. Down to the training, down to the food, down everything. Excellence. So I hope I answered your question. And that, well, that's just the way that is.